Hey guys, my name is Kevin Menjivar and I am the SI for Biochem 110B for Dr. Dingwall section. So today we're going to be going over the beginnings of gluconeogenesis. Okay, if you want access to this worksheet, if you would like to see the rest of this worksheet and work out the rest of this worksheet together, you can come to my office hours, which are basically my SI sessions, which are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. The Zoom ID link is on Dr. Dingwall's syllabus. You guys can access it there. And without further ado, we'll get started. Okay, so the first question on the screen asks, what is the purpose of gluconeogenesis? This is when we can go back to what Dr. Dingwall does for us when she color coordinates her notes, right? So the purple meaning the roots of words. So the roots of words for this class is going to be super important, right? So this question is easily answered if you just look at the roots of the word, right? So gluco meaning glucose, genesis meaning to make. So basically the making of glucose, right? So the purpose of gluconeogenesis is to make glucose, okay? So for example, on a test, if you got this question, it would be great if you could just quickly write a bullet point and just say to make glucose, right? That tells the grader that you know what the answer is, quickly, short and sweet, all right? And that's what they're looking for, all right? So for question 2, under what conditions does our body run gluconeogenesis? So, right, if we're making glucose, we're usually going to have low blood sugar because we need to make glucose, right? And when does our body have low blood sugar? That is when we are undergoing starvation, undergoing fasting, and undergoing vigorous exercise, right? You're only going to make glucose when your body does not have glucose, right? So for example, if you're running, meaning vigorous exercise, then your body is going to run through the stored carbs or sugars in your body pretty quickly. So then your body's going to undergo gluconeogenesis in order to make sugar so that your body can run, okay? So under what conditions does our body run gluconeogenesis? All of these. And then you can also say low sugar in our body, right? Now we can move on to the table, right? So we can start going through actual gluconeogenesis. Remember that gluconeogenesis is basically the reverse of glycolysis with these 3 added bypasses, right? So our bypass 1, if you remember, is going to be in a different location than the bulk of gluconeogenesis, right? So we can answer that bottom question, where is it located? That bypass 1 is going to be located in the mitochondrial matrix. And then, do you guys remember what organ this is taking place in? I'll give you guys like 1 or 2 seconds to think about it. Okay, so this first bypass is taking place again in the mitochondrial matrix, but remember that this is a liver only process. Not just the first bypass, but this entire process of gluconeogenesis is a process that only occurs in the liver. But specifically for bypass 1, it is the mitochondria of the liver in which it is occurring, right? So if we remember, that first enzyme is going to be pyruvate carboxylase, right? So this gives us the name of our substrate, meaning the substrate is our starting material being pyruvate, and then carboxylase, meaning putting on a carbon molecule, right? So our substrate is pyruvate, and then our product is going to end up being oxaloacetate. Remember that you guys are going to have to know these names and structures, okay? So let's deal with pyruvate carboxylase first. So if you guys remember, the three things that pyruvate carboxylate needs are the ABCs, right? So does it require anything? Yes, it does. It requires ATP. Any cofactors? We have biotin and HCO3 minus. So if you remember the ABCs, A is going to stand for ATP or adenosine triphosphate. B is going to stand for biotin, biotin being a 1-carbon carrier, and HCO3 being that CO2 equivalent, right? So this is what she means when she says pyruvate carboxylase requires those ABCs. And you're going to see this kind of ABC motif throughout all carboxylase kind of enzymes throughout this course, okay? So we only covered the first enzyme of the first bypass for gluconeogenesis. So if you want to see the second enzyme of the first bypass of gluconeogenesis and the rest of this table filled out along with the rest of this worksheet filled out and access to this worksheet, again, come to office hours or my sessions. They are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. That Zoom ID meeting link is going to be on the syllabus. Hope to see you guys there.